Okay, so what's really cool right now is just that the universe is telling me so many things. Like it's telling me like everything that I need to hear, and it's amazing. And I kind of am like, whoa, it's magic, like literally. Okay, so I went to go get my hair cut, and so it was interesting because I just had a conversation like with my hairdresser, who's so awesome. She's so loving. I love her, and her name is Star. But yeah, um, so I was playing Star. Like it's funny how sometimes you don't see yourself a certain way, but then there's situations, and then you react to like in that situation, like you would have not expected her. Because I was telling her about this time where okay, so I went with my friend because his friend had a friend who, or his friend had like a band that there was a band that was playing at the beach, which is where like near where I live. So what ended up happening is that we went to go to the beach and we were like he was hungry, so I went to go eat, and then he was like, "Oh, I want ice cream," and I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, for sure, let's go get ice cream," you know. So then and I went. We were in this one spot which had really like interesting ice cream, um, and we were waiting in line, except that we weren't in the spot to wait in line, but we were there, right? And the guy who was working, he was attending to a family, and he was serving them ice cream, you know. And so we were just kind of chilling on the side, unaware of the fact that there was like a line that you had to get into, or the spot for the line, right? So then this other family came in. So it's like us, the family it's being attended, and then on the other side over here, another family that actually got into the spot for the line, right? And so then, like, as the family who was getting ice cream was finishing, my friend goes like, "Oh my god, I don't know what to do because like there's someone else on the other side, but we're here." And I was like, "So we're here first. Like, let's just go, you know?" And so then, like, I walked over to the window, and so as I did, the lady who was waiting in the actual line place, well, not line, but you know what I mean, the actual line situation. Um, she like she was like, "Oh, like I was in line," and I was like, "Yeah, but we were here first." And so I said it according to my friend. I said it like really bitchy, and I was just like, "Well, no, you kind of have to be aggressive sometimes, you know, like because you have to kind of just like just do it, you know, like be assertive or whatever." But actually, what I failed to mention was that before that time, I had been texting an ex partner, and so I was texting him, and I kind of got upset about it. So actually, what triggered, well, going back to the topic of like how different people trigger different things within us, right? Like, so this person kind of like he triggered a couple really important things, and I'm really grateful for those things because it's something that I really needed to look at. So, oof, yeah, like he basically made me face my past that had been in my subconscious mind, and it just like raised it to the forefront, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm still looking at myself through my past, which is cool because like it's a really great learning experience, you know. And I'm still kind of navigating through that, but so our conversation through text, it was just like I just it was I was just trying to figure out if he was still into me, because it was just like one of those confusing text messages, you know, where you're like, wait, why would you text people like this certain thing or like this certain way unless you like them, or unless like maybe I was the one that was reading too much into it, you know, and like was thinking like, oh, like this person's not over me or whatever. But they were. And so like I was just kind of upset because of that whole like miscommunication and misthinking, misprocessing. But yeah, so then that was a discussion that we had, me and my hairdresser, about that moment and about how certain people trigger certain things in you, and sometimes they're things that you didn't know you had. So, and then it was interesting because the conversation had gone into like how everything's really shitty right now, right? And but she was, as she was talking, like it was like she was wording everything that I needed to hear the way I needed to hear it. Like she was saying like something along the lines of how like if you fight, if you join like the fight or whatever, like if you're like gonna be in the fight, like you're basically in the mud with the in the shit. You're in the shit with these other people and you guys are just throwing shit back and forth, right? And it's like you're throwing shit back and forth, you're still in that same mess. You're not rising above it. You're just still there, right? And you're not really looking at anything. Like you can choose to be somewhere else where the shit is not there, where there's peace. And that just kind of like reminded me of one of the books that I've recently read. It's called The One by Richard Bach. He's also the guy who wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which was really popular in the 1970s. And I have not yet read, but I plan on reading. I'm actually reading his other book, Illusions, right now, which is also really fascinating. But but yeah, so she was saying that, and I was like, dude, like in my head, I'm like, that is so what I needed to hear, like the way I needed to hear it, and that is totally what I agree with, you know. And it goes with this other thing that I'm reading right now. It's called The Code. Actually, I have it right here. So right this one. It's The Code by Tony Burroughs, Burroughs. Um, and it's 10 intentions for a better world. So it kind of goes with this because he's like, I've been reading the first chapter and like he's just talking about like manifestation and like how it's just you can just trust and things will happen. And I'm just like, that's what I want to work on so hard, just trusting, you know. And but it's just amazing. Like, I mean, okay, and then like, right, I've been thinking about like, oh hey, you know what I want? I want like, I really just want to be like walking down the road somewhere and like have somebody pull over and be like, oh hey, like Yvonne, do you need a ride? And I'd be like, okay. And it's just kind of funny because like I've been thinking about that like a kind of like maybe a few times and a couple days ago and or like maybe a week or two ago, I don't know. But it's been a while. It's been a minute, right? And I thought about it a little bit, you know, here and there. And yesterday that actually happened. My best friend, like I was walking, and my best friend is with her friend, you know, and it was funny because then all of a sudden, like I'm like singing with my headphones on the street, singing Morrissey because I'm just like, I love you, Morrissey. Sometimes there's just certain songs that I feel, you know, and so then she pulls over, and I was like, wait, what is happening? Why is the car stopping? Why is there emergency brake lights? And I look over, and I'm like, oh shit, it's my best friend. And she's like, do you need a ride? And I'm like, oh, okay, like, that's cool. So that happened yesterday. And then right now at the coffee shop, it was interesting because I was just like, you know, you can sense things that are going on, right? Like, okay, so when I got there, obviously, like you can pick up on how people's faces are, and like you know, like are they busy? Are they not busy? I mean, at least I can. Maybe some people don't actually. Yeah, I take that back. Some people it's hard because I have a friend who it was hard for him, and yeah. But if you do have problems with that, there is a book called Captivate. I'm not sure by who it's by, but like then her name. But if you look up Lewis Howe, The School of Greatness, and Captivate on YouTube, I'm sure it'll pop up. And she was just really awesome. I really loved like the way that she like was talking on his channel, and he's great. He's great. I love him too. Learned a lot from him. Um, Still learning, but so yeah. So there was. I walked into the coffee shop because I'm like, I'm getting some cold brew. I want coffee. And so I walked in and I see the cashier. Her face is kind of like busy, right? And then I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. I have to be patient. I have to wait. And so, sure enough, it was really interesting because I've never experienced this like sense of like unfoldment. Like So as it was there, right? As the moment was happening in front of me, I I looked at her, I looked at the baristas, and then like looked back at her, and then she goes like talking to the person waiting at the bar, and she's like, "Oh, you owe me 75 cents," and I was like, "That's what was going on." But it was just really interesting because I was like, "There's something going on, and I don't know what it is, but but there's something going on," and it was like. I don't know if it was that I wanted to find out what was going on or if it was just like I know that something's going on and let's see what goes on. There was some curiosity, I suppose. Yeah, there's some curiosity. Like, yeah, let's find out what's going on. Like, let's like, oh, this is fun. This is gonna be fun, right? And so then it was like that whole process unfolded in front of me. But when it unfolded in front of me, I was like, wow, I felt like so amazed by that process for some reason. And so then I proceeded to, get my coffee, order it, whatever. And then as I was there, I felt some anxiety towards like talking to people. And so there was this guy and I was like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And he's like, "I'm good." And he's like, I'm here." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like there's this fan and it's blowing awesome air because it's fucking hot right now." And so then that kind of was like, "Okay, like I guess I'll wait on the side over here." And then so then there was this other guy that I usually see in that coffee shop, and so we were talking and like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "It's great. Like I'm good. It's interesting." And he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah," and um, he was just talking about light and dark and how we need the shit in order to become the lightness that we are or to realize it. And I was like, "Yeah, you don't even know how badly we like." I was like, "Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like I've been experiencing that. Like I needed shit. I needed to face the shit or to like realize my shit in order to be like, okay, this is the shit that I need to work on." And but there's beauty in it. Like you can't like there's certain people that bring out certain things in you. Sometimes those things are going to be negative, right? But it's like in that negativity, you get to realize and you get to see that shit that is within you. And then you're like, dude, even though this person's toxic, like it's beautiful. It's beautiful because you're teaching me something about myself. And like it's sad that we didn't work out or whatever, but that's because you're like somewhere else and I'm somewhere else, and that's okay. Ugh, that's kind of hard to accept still, but it's like, but that's okay, and it's like, but it's interesting too because on Instagram I saw this post of of how like abusers are like and abusees kind of like tend to, I guess we tend to want to people please, whereas like abusers are like get like really frustrated and like they really want to move or like they want certain things done. And I was like kind of reflecting in my situation, this past partner that I had, and I was like, I think that's what was going on. Like he really wants to grow, and I'm kind of really still kind of stuck, or I'm kind of scared to grow, which sucks. Ugh, it sucks so bad, but that's my shit. That's my shit. That's my shit. Um, and but it's funny because I have to learn how to let that go. I have to learn how to let people go, people who are not for me, people who are not part of my journey. Exactly. They're not meant to be in my life, which hurts. It hurts, but like, and seeing that I need the shit, like, it kind of makes it a little bit easier. Or seeing that they brought up my shit, it kind of makes it a little bit easier because it was like, that's why you were in my life. That was your purpose in my life. And like, your purpose is done. And like, I have to let you go now because you already taught me what you needed to teach me, and it's time to move on. So, yeah, just like little things are going on right now. And yeah, actually, I have like a little poem too that like when the other day I was eating and I was like, okay, I need an answer here because like I don't know whether I should let this person go or not. right? And then the name of the poem was I Loved You, and it was like I love you, and I probably still do, and for a while the feeling may remain, but let my love no longer trouble you. I do not wish to cause you any pain. I loved you, and the hopelessness I knew, the jealousy, the shyness, though in vain, made up a love so tender and so true as may God grant you to be loved again. So I'm just like taking this, and it's Alexander Pushkin, by the way, great Russian writer. Um, he's cool. Yeah, he's very popular. I took like a Russian class, and he came up a lot, and I really like loved his writing. So, but yeah, like so this was. I feel like this was kind of like telling me like yeah, you gotta let them go, and you're gonna find that person eventually. You know that you are gonna be in match with, and that's okay. So those are my 2 cents, yo.